bring Thomas up also. Surprise. He's the president of the Black Heritage Committee and also the founder of Tribune Village. And he's doing some things up here, so I need him to speak on those things also, Thomas.
I think that oftentimes when we talk about our histories and the things that we need to know about our history, but in studying our history here in America, the law has been very important. Because if those who know our history, when the first people came, they came as indentured servants. And as the tables turn, the laws turn. And so every step of the way, we got to deal with this law thing. And the only way that you can really deal with the law is by working within the law. So we need more black police officers who are culturally familiar with our community. When we talk about police in our community, we need more black police officers who understand that when black folks might be talking loud, like sometimes we do, and somebody else may see it and may not understand how we communicate with each other, and so they misinterpret, our actions in their perspective. So in the education that we need to give our kids, we already up under the gun. So if we have young youth in our household, it should be mandatory that they need to pull their pants up. Because all they're doing, they're making themselves a target. If you already know someone is against you, we have to learn how to teach our youth how to maneuver in this society. Because if we look at the jobs, black men are underpaid, black women are underpaid, we still are in our situation from slavery. Where we at right now is a direct result from slavery. We need to participate. We need not to be outside and have other people dictate what's good for us, what's right for us, how to raise our kids. I hear older people always say that in their neighborhood, it was a village, everybody knew each other. But systematically, as laws change, our communities change. Because our communities were strong at one time. So we have to go back. We can't be scared, to talk to the youngsters. I understand that sometimes our youngsters are out of control. But those are our youngsters. And if we don't care enough to interact with them, they're going to continue to be misled. And it's very few of us who actually know our story. Everybody who is a father, who is a mother, we need to educate ourselves so that we can teach our children. Because a lot of us don't have the information to depart to our children. It's a good thing on YouTube. You can look up just about anything, and if you don't know, you can sit there and watch with your child. You know what I mean? Learning should be from the cradle to the grave. Each generation should boost the next generation up. We should be a foundation for those who come after us as those who came before us. We have these opportunities because there are people who literally gave their life for us. You know what I mean? And whenever, when you go to school, there's a lot of, they put, Martin Luther King, he was a good man. You learn about certain people in school. But it's a whole lot of people that you don't learn about in school. And if you want to know, you got to seek that knowledge for yourself. Being able to fill out paperwork properly. I have to admit, as a young black male growing up, when I turned 18, I didn't know nothing about how to write a check. I didn't know nothing about credit. I didn't know nothing about the society I found myself in. So how am I supposed to properly navigate in this society? So when we look at our youth, that's a result of us as a community talking about the older people who haven't done their job properly. And I'm at fault too. You know what I mean? It's not about pointing the finger, but you know, in order for you to correct the problem, you have to first be able to acknowledge the problem exists.
That's right.
Then you can work on the problem. You know, we got a problem in our own house. We can't expect, you know, sometimes we'll call the police because of how some of us act up. You know what I mean? We got to, you know, when it's a brother out of line, we got to check that brother. Because I often say I'd rather whoop my child than somebody who don't care about my child discipline my child. So, you know, we got to start at our kids young. I'm one of the programs that you know, wasn't mentioned. I'm starting a junior journalist club because our youth need to learn how to write their story. They need to learn how to translate what they're going through, so we can feel them, we can communicate with them, because it's a disconnect. You know, it's a disconnect between older folks, younger folks, between Christian folks, non-Christian folks. You know, I often use the analogy, in my family, you got criminals, you got people that are in law enforcement, you got people that are homosexual, you got people that use drugs. But when we come together as a family, none of that matters. We don't separate ourselves. You know what I mean? And that's, you know, we got ills in our community, you know, that are not to be overlooked. But, you know, it's not always what you do, it's how you do it. You know, a lot of times, you know, when I was growing up, kids couldn't be in the room with adults. They couldn't hear adult conversation because they wasn't mature enough to, you know, understand the full grasp of what adult conversation entails. And a lot of times, we in front of our kids doing things that we shouldn't be doing. You know what I mean? If we got kids, you know, do what you do. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but don't do it in front of the kids. You know, give them an opportunity to, you know, be pure and enter this, you know, appropriately. And as well, you know, I mean, brothers, we've been through things for our male youth. We need to let them know, man, you know, you sagging your pants. A lot of times, we have like cultural traits. A lot of times black folks don't smile. You know, we may be happy inside, but we not showing it on the outside. So a lot of times people mistranslate that. You know what I mean? We need to learn how to communicate, not only verbally, but within our body language, especially when we dealing with other folks. Because other folks, if we not communicate properly with these other folks, then that could mean the difference between life and death. Or that could be the difference between a hardship and a good ship. You know, because not all other people are bad, but we have to learn how to communicate. And information, the brother was talking about information. The Bible says, you know, my people suffer from a lack of knowledge. We need to, you know, like this network that we got going on, you know, we need to make sure that everybody in our community is informed on whatever it is, you know, because a lot of us don't know. And
I was saying, I think that we should print out flyers so we can start passing them out for these type of meetings we having. Because when you tell people, some people forget, you know, so I just think that, you know, we should print up flyers. I'll see if I can get Eric to print up some flyers.
Okay.
And then we can be able to pass them out, you know.
And then not only that, to let everyone know that it's not just an issue per se about just keep on.
Right.
Because sad to say, a lot of
struggles, I think most of us, is that Kevon could have been all of our child.
Yeah, we
You
don't
know,
get that,
right.
when it don't happen to
Yeah.
us.
And just like, the reason why, the Rodney King thing, I don't think it was a thing that anybody too much cared about Rodney King per se, but Rodney King could have been any one of us. So that was where the frustration, come from. We are under the gun, and we had to be fully aware of our circumstances for us to make proper decisions in our circumstances. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times we in a circumstance and we don't know the full parameters of our circumstance, and we make a decision premature, and it messes things up. You know what I mean? But I can't stress enough that we all need to be history teachers. We need to all have something to say to our positive youth. You know what I mean? Something that's educational, something that's uplifting, something, that's gonna make them think. A lot of times my mom used to say things to me that I didn't understand when she said it. But later on in life, when I ran into certain situations, then it came to me, that's what she meant. So I'm in this by saying that, we need not to just point at certain things, but we need to devise strategies. And after devising the strategies, we need to act on these things because a lot of times we come together and we talk, which is good. But after we assess the situation properly, then we need to go to the next step. And,
Doers.
yes.
Doers, that's right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that's my time. I ain't gonna try to hold it up. God bless. And